Good afternoon. The Supreme Court affirmed Sandigan Bayan's previous decision dismissing the 1.05 billion peso civil forfeiture suit filed against former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr., former First Lady Imelda Marcos, and their alleged cronies. In a 25-page decision, the First Division of the Supreme Court ruled that the petition for review to reverse the Sandigan Bayan's ruling lacked merit. The petition was submitted by Presidential Commission on Good Government. PCGG filed the forfeiture case in 1987 to recover assets and properties from the Marcos family and their alleged cronies. Sandigan Bayan, however, rejected many pieces of evidence presented by PCGG. The anti-graft court justified its action by saying the evidence were not presented during the discovery proceedings or that the documents submitted were mere photocopies. Sandigan Bayan concluded the remaining admissible evidence was either insufficient to prove the allegations of the expanded complaint or were not related to the facts that PCGG had wanted to prove. In affirming the anti-graft court's earlier verdict, the High Court declared that the documents submitted are insufficient to prove that respondents concealed illegally obtained assets or amassed ill-gotten wealth. Defense Secretary Teodoro says the government is encouraging all kinds of effort to engage with Beijing following the meeting between former President Rodrigo Duterte and Chinese leader Xi Jinping. In a press conference, Teodoro says he is waiting for the outcome of the meeting between Duterte and Xi. He adds that the government is encouraging all efforts to engage with China on a non-formal track or track to diplomacy. According to the United Nations, Track 2 diplomacy refers to unofficial, informal interaction between members of adversary groups or nations. This with the aim to develop strategies that might help resolve conflict. Teodoro echoes President Bongbong Marcos' statement, who said he welcomed any new lines of communication with China. Duterte and Xi met in Beijing on Monday, according to Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying. Chinese state media says Xi had praised Duterte for his contributions to sustain bilateral relations between the Philippines and China. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines says it is considering sainthood for Niña Ruiz-Abad, noting that she could serve as a good model of piety and fortitude for today's youth. This comes 30 years after Abad's death due to hypertrophic cardiomyopathy in August 1993. She was laid to rest at a public cemetery in Sarat, Ilocos Norte. According to the CBCP, Abad was only 13 years old when she died, but even if her life was short-lived, she was able to leave a major impact on people through her faith in God and acts of charity. Bishop Renato Mayugba of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Lawag notes that Abad showed acts to evangelize others, which they considered unusual for her age. Mayugba says these are the reasons that obliged him to open and file the petition for Abad's sainthood. A formal investigation of Abad's life is underway. EJ Obiena rises to the world number 2 in the men's pole vault rankings. The Filipino pole vaulter, previously world number 3, has surpassed American Chris Nilsson for the second spot. This as Obiena garnered 1,432 ranking points, 4 points ahead of Nilsson. In a social media post, Obiena thanked his supporters, saying the accomplishment was not his alone, but everybody's. Obiena has been on a roll this year after recently ruling the Asian Athletics meet with a new record. The 27-year-old pole vaulter has already qualified for the 2024 Paris Olympics, his second straight appearance in the Summer Games. In June, Obiena also joined the exclusive 6-meter club as he became the first Filipino and Asian to clear 6 meters to rule the Bergen Jump Challenge in Norway. Here's the latest roundup of today's top stories. Supreme Court upholds Sandigan Bayan's dismissal of over 1 billion peso forfeiture case versus the Marcoses. Defense Secretary Teodoro says government is encouraging all kinds of effort to engage with Beijing following the meeting between former President Rodrigo Duterte and Chinese leader Xi Jinping. And EJ Obiena rises to the world number 2 in pole vault rankings. These are the stories you need to know today. I'm Beatriz Pinlac. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good afternoon.